Piglet's 1001 Watermelons has a really great lesson in it, not just for children and younger viewers, but for anybody of any age. This is the second segment of the 15th episode of the first season of My Friends Tigger and Pooh, and there will be spoilers as I discuss what happens in this and how the message comes about. Because Rabbit, ever a good friend, has been giving Piglet watermelons that he's been growing in his garden. That's a really lovely thing to do. However, Piglet is inundated with watermelons. There are watermelons everywhere. I love how they're animated. I think they look really brilliant. And Piglet just doesn't know how to tell Rabbit that he doesn't want any more watermelons. So with the help of the super sleuths, he learns how to say no thank you. And there are two great things about this. The first is just the lesson itself, that it's actually okay to say no thank you, even if somebody is doing something kind and they're being generous. If that generosity is inconveniencing you, that person who is doing something kind wouldn't like to think they're inconveniencing you. So it's actually in everybody's best interests to just say, actually, no thank you. Because if somebody is genuinely wanting to do something kind, like we see with Rabbit, they wouldn't want to think that they're actually doing something that's ultimately unkind by making you feel the burden of these 1001 watermelons. So that's a really great message. It is okay to say no thank you. The other great thing about this is that it's actually very actionable. It's not just that they told Piglet, you need to say no thank you. They actually work with Piglet to help him be able to say no thank you, because he tries to get the words out and he just can't. He just can't form those words because he's really worried in the back of his mind about upsetting Rabbit. So the super sleuths actually work with him. They do some practice exercises to get Piglet used to saying no thank you so that ultimately he can say it to Rabbit. And I thought it was a really great thing to do, because we're not just getting the advice, we're getting some tips on how to actually put that into place. And I'll be honest, I don't think I would have thought of that, of actually doing some practice runs. And I think that that's a really great thing. And of course that can apply to anything, not necessarily just with saying no thank you. If there is something that you need to say or you struggle with saying, then practicing it is a pretty great way to go about it. And ultimately what happened with this, with Piglet saying no thank you, and then Rabbit also admitting he didn't have the need for that many watermelons either, and then understanding how Piglet would be feeling, I thought was a great way to round things off. So a really sweet episode, very well animated, some really great messages, and very beautifully delivered as well. I think it might be one of my favourites in terms of how beneficial it can actually be. I think Piglet's 1001 Watermelons is a pretty great episode.